welcome to our Synergy podcast. My name's Marie, I'm a director at Synergy Recruitment.
And I'm Yasmin, also a director at Synergy. And we are here today to talk about recruiting in a competitive job market.
Yes, we are, because there was a report this week that job vacancies are back higher than pre-pandemic levels. And we have certainly noticed that over the past few months. It's really taken off, and a lot of businesses are recruiting, so it's an extremely competitive marketplace out there, isn't it, at the moment? So we thought we'd have a chat about what companies need to do really in order to set themselves apart from other organisations.
Yeah, because essentially you're recruiting for a job and looking for candidates, but also all of your competitors probably are as well. So you've got to find a way to compete, set yourselves apart, obviously to ensure that you are still attracting people, because essentially candidates that you're speaking to are likely speaking to other businesses about similar roles. So
I think number one, I would say from the outset you need to ensure that the job role you're recruiting for is offering the going rate, if you like, the market salary for that position, because if it's below average, then you're just not going to get any applicants, because other companies are going to be approaching them or advertising for roles at a higher salary. So it's really key that is done from the outset.
Yeah, and that's both from an external perspective, so when you're recruiting for positions, but also actually internally as well.
Yes.
Because what happens when there are a lot of job vacancies but not enough candidates to fill them is companies have to start reaching out to potentially passive candidates, which might be the staff that are working at your business, and approach them directly to offer them, roles and higher salaries potentially than what they're earning at the moment. So you've got to make sure that internally, to keep your staff, you need to be competitive and make sure that you're at the market value for the salaries that you're paying people.
Yeah, and it's not just the salaries, it's the package as well, isn't it? It's the amount of holidays that you offer. Can you offer working from home or hybrid working? Is there any flexi time in terms of if somebody wanted to maybe drop the children off at school? It's the whole package and perks like that, because I think from the pandemic we've all learned that being able to have a bit more of a work-life balance is important. So it's the salary and the packaging as a whole.
Because essentially candidates at the moment have the pick of the bunch, don't they? So from an employer's perspective, you've got to make sure that you are offering these things to people if you can, because that's what candidates are starting to demand and look for, because they can get it somewhere else. Yeah,
and it's sort of looking at your employer branding as well. How does your website look? What images portrayed, because candidates, when they've got the pick of the bunch, they'll be looking at all the different company websites to try and get a feel for what the culture's like there. What sort of company are you? Are you, what plans do you have? So it's doing anything you can to sort of set yourself apart and be that employee that somebody would want to go and work for.
Yeah, because candidates will do their research and they will have a look at that, and it's amazing to me how many companies you speak to that are recruiting but they don't even have the vacancy on their website or any idea of how the business works from an employee's perspective. So if you can get current employees on your website talking about what's good about working there, all sorts of things like that, those are ways that you can set yourself apart and get candidates interested in coming and working for you, because ultimately a lot of candidates will base decisions on whether they feel that it's an environment they actually want to work in. We want to work with people we feel we can get along with, and in places that we feel are nice places to work. That's simple, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and also another thing that they could do is, if you're in the interview process, then allowing them to speak to a member of the team to get their opinion of how long they've worked there for and what do they like about working for the company. So it's not just like a senior person within the business. So that's something to maybe add to the process.
Yeah, because I think it's no longer a case of you as an employer are interviewing someone to assess just whether they're right for you. Also, candidates are assessing whether you're right for them. So you have to look at it from that perspective as well, and make sure that you are talking about your opportunity and your offer, not just sort of grilling them and not
finding out what they can do and bring to the business.
Yes.
Yeah. And when it comes to actually having a vacancy and you doing the planning of getting somebody on board, something that we're having to advise all of our clients is that it is taking longer than normal because of the sort of shortage of candidates and versus the amount of vacancies that are out there. So it's sort of planning to allow that extra time. And then the key thing is, when you have got a candidate that you like, you need to act fast and you need to make decisions, because they will be having interviews at other businesses, and if there's another company that will make them an offer sooner and don't take a few days to get back to them, then they'll probably snap them up. So it's really important that if there is somebody that you interview and you like, you make that decision.
Yes, and that's everything, I think.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, and look out for our next podcast, which will be out soon.
Thanks very much. Bye.